Hi. So now that you know how this cycle works, I wanted to talk about a few things that really were revelations for me. First, there's the first few lives that you have. So when you originally leave source, your first lives, you're like so pure, you're so connected to the cosmos and the earth. You just have all this divine knowledge. So in the first few lives, you're like really like you're a shaman, or you're just maybe you're like so in isolation, and you're just like you hear the air, you hear the ocean, you feel the winds talking to you, you're like just so connected to nature and stuff. And then you start going around, maybe you're on the second spiral, so you're starting to forget a little bit, but then you'll turn and you'll have like a glimpse of home. You'll maybe you didn't have a religious life, but then you just have this glimpse of something meaningful. Like you'll get these glimpses as you're going out. But the whole purpose of this cycle is to remember. Remembering is the purpose of this game, of this whole thing. Forgetting is the purpose, but it has been hijacked. So we did want to it's kind of like playing hide and seek with yourself. Like you want to hide and then remember who you are. Okay, so that is part of the reason. But it did get hijacked where they created these fear loops that would just prevent us from forgetting. So forgetting isn't all like the evil bad thing, but it was hijacked, and that's why things have gotten so bad, because people are just not remembering at all. Also, I wanted to talk about the soul fragments. So we have these experiences, and maybe you had a life where you were in war, or maybe you had a life where you're a prisoner, or whatever, just something like really traumatic. A piece of your soul will break off and hide and stay there for like ages because you don't know to collect it. So little pieces are getting broken off, like you had a life in war and it broke off, you got killed, you broke off, you're a prison, and so you have all these little pieces broken off of you. And a lot of people have no idea. And so when I look around now, and if I just go out to public and I look at people and they just look miserable, like when I go to a store or something, look like they just look tired, old, unhappy. It's just another day. They're like the people that say, you say, how are you? And they're like, it's another day. Like just people are suffering so bad. And I believe we're just broken because we have these missing pieces of ourselves. Before we leave source, one fragment of your soul stays behind the veil and does not come out here. They want to preserve your true self in case you just lose all your light, you just get so fractured and broken and completely lose yourself. So this one fragment will stay behind the veil and is observing and watching you through all these lives. And when you reach the end point where you start to return, this fragment can be called back, and you call them back, and then you are whole, like through the whole returning. But it stays back to protect you, so you will not lose yourself completely. And another thing I wanted to share was about that the remembering is so important. So I was asking a lot about before I came to this life. Like, what was I talking about? What was I planning? And my guide told me, she said, you looked into my eyes and you said, I'm going back in and I'm so scared I'm going to forget. And my guides promised me that if I forgot, they would find me and they would help me so I could remember. You are here to remember. That's the point. That's the point why you're here. Let me know if you have any questions, but I felt like those things were really important to understand. Oh, yeah, one more thing. And this is what I'm experiencing. So another thing that's really important is I figured out that I am in the returning stage and that I am like gonna complete my cycle in this lifetime. I was so excited when I heard that. And that's why I'm so passionate about remembering and collecting soul fragments, because like if I don't collect all my soul fragments before this life, I would probably have to have another life. So I'm like, I got to collect them all and remember, and I'm done. But I like want to share this with people, right? So I'll be like, oh, I found the answer of what we need to do. This is what you need to do. Here you go. Like I'm giving them a list, right? I'm like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then I watch them and they're not able to do it, you know? And I'm like, why not? Come on, just do it. But, you know, that's my perspective. But then now when I understand the soul cycle, I realize that they're not at the same point in the cycle as me. So some people are still in the forgetting, like they're not even close to the return. They're still experiencing and forgetting. Some people, anyway, my point is that the people that are asleep, these people that you call NBCs, just the people who don't get it, okay, they are either, you don't know where they are in the cycle, they are entangled in soul contracts, they are in loops, they are stuck in loops, but not everyone is at the same part. So also if you're someone who's just like really frustrated with the people around you not being like at the part you're in, it really helped me to just think like, oh, they're probably in the middle of the cycle. They're not nearly where I am or something like that. So anyway, those were the main points I wanted to point out about the soul cycle.